Hi, hello viewers. Today we are going to see some of the sample questions in science. Okay, now we move to the questions. Now the question is, there are two subdivisions. First one is, Ravi kept a book at a distance of 10 centimeter from the eyes of his friend Hari. Hari is not able to read anything written on the book. Explain why. The answer is very simple because the least distance of distant vision is 25 centimeter only, and the book is kept at a distance of 10 centimeter, so Hari is not able to read anything. Now the second question is, a lens of focal length which is f is 5.0 centimeter is being used by a student in the laboratory as a magnifying glass. His least distance of distant vision is 25 centimeter, which is u. What magnification is the student getting? We want to calculate the magnification value, and then 1 by v minus 1 by u is equal to 1 by f is the lens formula. We substitute those values u and f. Here minus 25 represent the least distance, and then after substituting those values, the v values obtained 25 by 4 centimeter. Then magnification is m is equal to v by u. So after substituting we get the. Now the second question is, Sania and Shreya are best friends and study in grade 4. Recently, Sania has been facing difficulty in reading the blackboard text from the last desk. Shreya wonders why Sania avoids sitting on the last desk. On observation, she found that Sania often carries junk food in her lunch. Shreya has started sharing her lunch full of green vegetables and fruits with her. Sania is now better and has also started taking a balanced diet. Now we want to answer the questions. The name the eye defect Sania is suffering from. It's a myopia, it's a short sightedness. It leads to the thickening of eyeballs, and then far away objects are seen as blurred. And then next question is, what are the two possible deformities related to her eye defect? It's a lens defect which leads to increased thinness, and then eyeball defect, that is a shortening of eyeball. And third one is simply a value based question. What values are shown by Shreya and Saina? Are friendship, value, balanced diet, concern for each other, etc. Now the third question is, fossils are the remains, traces or impression of the dead animals and plants of geological past. Fossils are formed by layer in the earth crust. Fossils of prokaryotes were found in older rocks than those of eukaryotes. Invertebrates were formed before vertebrates. Among vertebrates, fishes appeared early than amphibians, and amphibians appeared early than reptiles, which are earlier than birds and mammals. Thus, fossils provide evidence for evolution. Now, the question is, what is the main factor on which the formation of fossils depend? Generally, fossil fuels means which is formed from dead and decaying or decomposing of organic matter. It formed millions of years ago due to the absence of air. Some of the fossil fuels are oil, natural gas, coal, petroleum, etc. And then second question is, what is the fossil dating? Why the study of fossils important? Fossil dating means we want to know the age of fossil that decomposed. Now the answer is, the age of fossils can be estimated by fossil dating. The study of fossils is important because it helps to analyze racial history of plants, and it also helps to measure the geological time, which means nothing but dividing the earth history into two parts based on the rocks and fossils evidence. The fourth question is, give two examples of covalent bonds which you have studied. State any four properties in which covalent bonds differ from ionic bonds. First of all, covalent bonds involves the formation of bond by mutual sharing of electrons between the two atoms. It's also known as molecular bonding. Here, the shared pair of electrons is known as bonding pair. The stable balance of attractive and repulsive forces between the two atoms, which involves the sharing by means covalent bonding. Here, the two examples are ethanol and ethanoic acid. In ethanol, the mutual sharing occurs between the oxygen and hydrogen atom. Likewise, in also ethanoic acid. And then difference between the properties of covalent bond and ionic bonds are, first of all, ionic bond involves the electrostatic force of attraction between the two atoms. Nothing but it's a anion and cation. So it involves the formation of bond from metal to metal and then non-metal, metal, etc. In covalent bond, it involves the formation of bond only in non-metal. Ionic bond involves the transfer of electron. Covalent bond involves a shared electron. Ionic bonds have high melting point and boiling point. Covalent bonds have low melting point, and then boiling points are from room temperature. Ionic bonds are solids at room temperature. Covalent bond liquids and gases at room temperature. Ionic bonds are hard and brittle, and covalent bonds are relatively soft. And then ionic bonds have strong bonds. Covalent bonds have weak bonds. Ionic bonds are electively reactive. Covalent bond does not normally conduct electricity. And then ionic bonds are soluble in water. Covalent bonds are insoluble in water. And then ionic bonds, electron orbitals are separate. In a covalent bond, electron orbitals are overlap. The last question, there are three subdivisions. First one is identify A, B, C, and D in the given diagram and write their name. This is a very simple question. You just look the image and you can easily answer those questions. First, A is nothing but stigma, B is pollen tube, and then C is ovary, and D is female egg cell. And then next question is what is pollination? Explain its significance. And then pollination means transfer of pollen grains from anther to the stigma in a flower. And then significance of pollination is the process of pollination leads to fertilization as it brings the female and male gametes together for fusion. And the next question is explain the process of fertilization in flowers. Name the parts of the flower that develop after fertilization into seed and fruit. First, the process of fertilization involves after a pollen falls from suitable stigma, the pollen tube grows out of the pollen grain and travels to the style to reach the ovule in the ovary. Here, the male germ cell carried by the pollen tube fuses with the female germ cell to form a zygote. And then the seed develops from ovule in the flower, and then flower develops from ovary in the flower. And then thank you. That's all. Thank you for watching. Please do like, share, and comment.